Hello. I wanted to talk about trust today, something that we all need in our lives in order to be able to function and know that we are supported by those around us, to feel safe and secure in our homes, in relationships, and even when we are out and about with strangers or in social groups. But it's not something we can guarantee with others, is it? No. So the best place to start is to trust yourself. Because with the best will in the world, you cannot be sure that everybody else around you will have your interests at heart. But you can. And so it's about identifying how to do that. Because life will always have something that may get in the way. And I am sure you understand what I'm saying there. That with the best of intentions, you may let yourself down in some way at one time or another. So sometimes our expectations of ourselves can just be too much, such that how we trust ourselves can be affected. So it's time to reconsider and to understand that trust does start within. I mean, how can you trust others if you can't trust yourself to trust others? Does that make sense? Knowing the right things to do for you and the right timing of things and decisions that are in your favor. So let's tune inwards. So when you're ready, closing your eyes to allow yourself permission to be in this time and space for you. And I invite you to make yourself comfortable there where you are. And if you are a regular listener to me, you will already know that you can start to relax just by breathing, allowing yourself to settle and focus on the breath coming easily and effortlessly, something you can reasonably trust, that you can control. And the thing is, it allows you to be in this present moment. So just for a moment, I want you to think of things that you can trust, implicitly and explicitly, that the sun will rise in the morning and set in the west, that your name is your name, and that the snow is cold. But there is one overriding way of something that you can trust, that nothing stays the same, everything changes. And so it's a good place to start with those certainties in life. So when you think about that, where might you sense that trust that the sun will rise in the morning in the east and set in the west, etc.? That may be a cognitive belief that you have, and that's okay. Sometimes some of this is cognitive because that's where we've been taught to live. But actually what I'm teaching you today, or want to show you, that trust is actually an emotional state. So wherever you've got that trusting in the certainties of life, well done. That's a good start. And if you can apply a color and or a shape, that will help in terms of how we can make sure that we bring that to a place that is where you can trust yourself. So let's start with the small things that require no effort. Things that you just do without thinking. They're usually habits. And you can trust that they will happen day in and day out, or week in, week out, and so on. And I don't know exactly what it will be. It could be that you're always on time, paying your way, caring for someone. You are honoring your commitments that you've made to other people, and they are important to you. So you will always step up and do them. And actually, at times, you might feel bad about not being able to do them through no fault of your own. The simple things that come naturally and easily and without thought. And as you identify the ones for you and realize these are just examples of the way that you trust yourself, you know you're going to follow through. So when you think about these, where do you sense those? Do you see them or feel them or hear them? And where in your body mind would that be? Physically, psychologically, or somewhere else? Just to be aware. And is it different to the certainties where you can trust? I don't know. And it doesn't much matter, just that you can experience this level of trust in yourself, that you'll get up in the morning and shower, that you will be able to, do all the things that you do during your day. You trust yourself to do them. And now, when we're talking of trust, another way to look at the way you trust yourself is to find all the things that are important to you. Your health, your wealth, your family, your business, or something else. I very often encourage people to identify what is important to them in each area of their life. If you haven't done that, then it might be worth checking out my values exercise. I'll put a link in the comments below. But it's really important that you understand that when you are making commitments and learning to trust yourself, starting with these key things that are important to you is a really good start. Why? Because if it's important to you, it's going to happen. You're going to prioritize it. You are going to do what you say you're going to do. So the next thing here is obviously to look at what's important to you and recognize how you trust yourself in those areas. How does it play out in your world? How often do you find yourself doing anything different? You may do, and that's okay. It's just recognizing there's a disconnect between what's important to you, maybe, and what you are actually doing. And once you've looked at it, you may have agreed that that's the way you want to go, and that's okay. It's all about learning more about yourself and understanding the circumstances where trusting yourself is great, but you make a decision to do something else so that you at a deeper level understand. There's nothing for you to change. This is really just about understanding yourself and where you can trust yourself. So now we know that you can trust the fact that there are certainties in life that you can trust, that you can start to think the small things that you do, the habits that are things that you can absolutely know you will do, and then the things that are important to you. 3 ways that you can start to trust yourself. And I wonder if you could get in touch with that trust, because the more you can tap into that whole deeper level, the more that you can build that trust in yourself. And the interesting thing is that the more you do, the more you'll be able to use it for other things. Not the big things like moving house or whatever, although eventually you will have practiced that emotional muscle and you will be able to. But you might be able to start to use it for other things. Shall I do this task or that task? When you're at the shopping supermarket, shall I get this or shall I get that? And all you're doing is starting to see which one is right for you and tap into this area wherever you found this trust for you, this color, this shape, and build it and make that muscle stronger. The more you do, the more you can. The more you can, the more you will. It's a really lovely circle of reinforcing who you are. And I am sure there are many other ways that you can start to trust yourself. And it's just about making the start. And I know very often people love an affirmation. How about something along the lines of, I trust myself to make the right decisions for me. And just watch what can happen. A really short one today, but I know that these are just the small steps where you can start to prove to yourself that you do trust yourself before moving on to bigger things and bigger things and bigger things. But I want you to know before I finish this, wherever you've found trust in yourself, and if you haven't, listen to this again or start to pay attention the next time you're doing something and you're just going to test it. Is this right? And you're trusting what's going on. I just want you to know that it starts with you. That this is just small steps into something much bigger. And I very often talk to my clients that the more they trust themselves to make the best decisions for them, yes, there will be others involved in that decision, but as long as it's good for them, what will happen is that deeper mind will start to trust you back, and you will find things flowing much easier than before. For me, this is a critical element of you being you. So when you're ready, really getting a sense of what color of trust might look like. It could change, but whatever color represents trust for you, go with that and find somewhere in your body that you can do that. Your heart, your gut, maybe somewhere in your head. Wherever it is, just test it with the small stuff. Enjoy.